Welcome to the Black Knight Nation podcast. I'm your host, Sal Interdonato. The Black Knight Nation podcast is brought to you by Higher Echelon. Higher Echelon, the company's run by Joe Ross, who's a former Army graduate, West Point graduate, former Army assistant coach. And we appreciate Joe Ross sponsoring this podcast with Higher Echelon. We're here today with Seth Mendelson, Black Knight Nation reporter. And also, we're happy to welcome Army women's lacrosse coach, Michelle Tumolo. Michelle, I practiced that name a couple times, your last name a couple times. I might have, I apologize there, but thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Of course, and don't be sorry. It's quite all right.
Yeah, we wanted to get you on before the big game Saturday against Navy. Talk about your program. You've had a really strong season this year. This is your second season at West Point, and I was just going to ask you about, coming into the season, your expectations, and kind of maybe give us a little bit of thumbnail your season and where you think you guys are at right now.
Yeah, obviously, being a young program and coming in here last year, we had a lot of goals that we wanted to set and be able to achieve them right away. You don't want to be like, oh, in 3 years we can do this, or in 3 years we can do that. We wanted to do those things right away. So coming in last year, we knew Navy was a big one on our schedule that we had circled, and we were excited to play them, and because we knew we had never beaten them before. So an incredible season last year. We had I believe, a 10-game win streak at one point. We had people breaking records left and right. So coming off of that season, we were definitely motivated to be even better this season. And we lost some key starters, but returned a lot of great players and had some great freshmen coming in. So yeah, this season's just been awesome. It's been an amazing ride. 12-2, but we're continuing to grind every single day to be able to play in May and do some great things. So yeah, obviously beating Jacksonville in the beginning of the season and Rutgers as well, 2 ranked opponents at the time, very highly ranked, and continuing to be pretty consistent throughout the season. And going into Yale obviously was a big one for us. Sadly, we lost that one, but bounced back against Bucknell, and then you go against an incredible team in Loyola, and it just wasn't our day. Truly, you got to play a pretty darn good game to beat Loyola, or even to keep it close. And we obviously are a little disappointed in that sense, but we're excited and we can't hang our heads because we got a big one on Saturday. So just really proud of our team and the way they've handled games, and we've been down by 6 goals at some points and come back. So yeah, just really proud of them.
Okay, Michelle, it's Seth. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. Like you said, great start to the season. 11 wins right off the bat. Some of the lacrosse people were taking notice about Army, the Army's women's team and the Army's men's team. It was pretty
Mhm.
interesting what they were saying. The Yale game was a tough one, lost by one.
Mhm.
Loyola lost by a bunch. I think it was
Bunch, yeah.
19-5, right?
Yes.
Take us through a little bit of what the expectations are going forward now. I mean, I'm not quite sure how the Patriot League sets up the
Mhm.
women's tournament. How many teams make the women's tournament?
So it'll be 6, but it's kind of like a play-in game in a way, and then the next 4 who win, the first 2 get a bye. Sorry, top 2 get a bye, and then we play Thursday for the semifinals. If you win, you play on Saturday. So that quarterfinal game is on Sunday. We're hoping to not have to play in that. So, but yeah, the expectation is to win, to keep winning. If you
Right.
keep winning, you extend your season. Obviously, this one on Saturday means a lot to us, our Army Navy. That's a given, but it's also to extend our season in May and get a good seed in the tournament and possibly make the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. So we're just so focused on Saturday for a lot of reasons, and we're just excited and hyped as well. To get a second star would be amazing. We're having our alums back and have a big crowd, and having it in Mikey Stadium is amazing in itself. So yeah, the expectation is just keep winning. Why stop now? And why not have belief that we can keep doing things that we've been doing all season?
I think if you beat Navy, you lock in a 1 or 2 seed. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so that's important. And you do play. Is it you play the higher seed plays the home game?
So
Is that
if the highest seed hosts the semifinals and finals, that looks to be Loyola. If we were to get that 3 seed, we would host the quarterfinal. So that's kind of how it works
okay?
on our
So
side.
if you got the 2 seed and Loyola lost, you would host the championship game.
I think since it goes head to head with us, it all depends, what we
Well, they
do
have
with the.
one loss now, so if they lost their one of the two remaining games, you won both. I think you get it. Okay, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
And
we'll
then, of
see.
course,
So, it might be
so
the head to head
so
goal
one
difference.
team gets the automatic qualifier. Has the Patriot League gotten more than one team into the tournament in the past?
Not since not since I've been in the Patriot League. I think it's been a while. So,
Yeah,
Lehigh has had some success, and Navy has had a lot of success in the past couple of years. So I think it's been a few years since that happened. Navy made the Final Four as
yeah.
early as 2017, I think it was, or 16. Pretty incredible.
Yeah. Okay. And then you got these big teams. You got like the ACC teams and the Syracuse, Boston College. I think Northwestern from the Big Ten,
Mhm.
Dynamite, and the women's game has certainly seemed to blossomed out across the country much more so than the men's game. And we know that has a little bit to do with Title IX and stuff like that. But it certainly has become a national game for the women, where the men's it is moving west, but at
Right.
a much slower rate.
Mhm.
So talk about that. It seems to be a lot of, interest across the country in women's lacrosse.
Yeah, it's fastest growing sport right now. Besides, I think pickleball. I think that might be the big one now. No, but yeah, in college athletics, we're really grateful that so many women's teams have been popping up all over the country. I was grateful enough to also coach at Oregon, so I've been on the West Coast. I coached there for 2 years back in 2016 and through 2018. So that was incredible to see the sport growing. USC, Arizona State, Colorado, Cal Berkeley, UC Davis has a team. So yeah, out west it's been amazing, but just across the board, you see, programs like Florida, who started a program in 2009, and they've done an incredible job. And yeah, I just think it's really exciting. I think people want to play it. They see what it does for universities, and just like Clemson, for example, they just started this year and they have beaten some pretty prestigious teams. So it's been cool to see universities invest in women's sports, and especially lacrosse. And I got to give a shout out to my Orange, since you mentioned them. I'm an Orange lacrosse alum, and they're 15-0 right now, and it's pretty amazing to watch.
I'm a Syracuse graduate too, and so are
You
both my
are?
kids. Yeah,
Yes,
go Orange.
Here we
Orange.
go. Here we yeah.
Sounds like
That's right. And I got to tell you something. The men's team is starting to move up a little bit too.
I
If
know,
they can win these two games, they can maybe sneak into the tournament. So we'll
huge.
see.
I know they got some
Um,
young talent on
let's
that.
talk about some of the Army players here.
Mhm.
If I Kathleen Sullivan is a senior. I think she's from Annapolis area, right? So you
Yes.
stole her away from Navy. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so she's a senior. She's been very good, and I
Yes.
think the number one scorer on the team is Bridget Duffy,
Yep.
a freshman.
Yep.
Okay, and then Julia Goachek.
Goriak. I know that one's a
Right.
tongue
Okay, I'm
twister.
sorry.
Yeah.
I
Um,
apologize.
that's
Those are the
okay.
big three.
Yeah. So Sully, that's what we call her on our team here. Yeah, from Annapolis. We're lucky she's on our team in the black and gold and not in that navy. Yuck. But no, she's incredible. She's got a cool story too, just like the fact that she didn't really play her freshman year, sophomore year, really didn't get minutes. And when we got the job here, our staff took over. She had a huge role for us, and just was able to put the ball in the back of the net and obviously get assists as well. So kudos to her teammates for finishing, her feeds and putting the ball in the back of the net and getting her points. And she's just been awesome. And then you go with Bridget Duffy, one of the most athletic humans I've ever seen. Also really cool story. She was born here. Parents went here. She's one of 10 kids. She's actually on the soccer team as well in the fall. She plays hockey. I heard she's even better at hockey than lacrosse. It's insane. And she's just a force to be reckoned with on the lacrosse field. So she's been amazing. It's been fun to coach her. And Julia Garai, yeah, just an outstanding player, someone that just is able to, really break ankles on the offensive end and put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, we've got a lot of firepower on the offensive end. It's been fun to see them succeed this season.
And what about your goalie situation? I think you've used two or three different people in goal, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? It's good to have two solid goalies. We have 5 actually on our roster. And coming into the season, Lacey Bartholomew had an incredible start and continue that throughout the first half of the season. And when a goalie is maybe not as hot, you hope for a goalie to go in behind her and be hot. And Lindsay Serafine has done that. And She's also a plebe freshman, and she's been awesome. Her focus has been awesome. Her personality is just awesome. The girls love her. So it's been nice. But yeah, it's definitely hard as a coach to, make that decision. But you want them to be confident. So they've been great teammates to each other. And yeah, I played with 2 goalies that split half, so I've seen it. And yeah, it's nice to have people that support each other in that one position.
Okay. I got to ask you a question. A friend
Just
asked
a
me to ask
question
this.
for you, Michelle.
Let me
Yeah.
ask one more question. One more question, Sal. A friend asked me
Okay,
to ask you
Seth,
this
go ahead.
question. I'm sorry. Why don't women wear helmets? I assume the ball is the same ball as the men's game.
Same ball, yeah. Yeah.
Why don't women wear helmets?
We have a whole different set of rules, and our game just is very different than the men. The men is obviously very physical. We don't play that way. You have probably seen a lot of physicality in our game. It's just gotten a little bit out of hand. Our game is very technical, and you have to have certain skill set, and not that it's different than the men obviously have very similar skill set, but you have to be able to not shoot through someone or not direct hit. You got to play with your feet, and you got to be very fundamentally sound. And but it's a very beautiful game. We play 7 people on offense, 7 people on defense, plus a goalie makes 8. So it's just a whole different set of rules, whole different game. And yeah, I wouldn't want to go to helmets. It would just change the game completely.
The ball's got to hurt though if it hits you in the head. No, I mean,
Terribly, yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's bad.
think so.
Yeah. It's
Sal, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's player
I
safety is
cut you
the
off.
issue. That's okay.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I was just going to ask you, Michelle, about what you saw in Kathleen Sullivan that made you, what did you see from when you came in, and what you thought she would bring to the table? Because now in fruition, it's turned out to be amazing.
Yeah, in the fall we really focus on skill set and just working on your craft. We're not really putting in plays or we put in typical motion sets and stuff we want to see them run through. But we just saw her ability to feed from behind the at X, so that's like behind the cage and in the crease position, and being able to drive the cage and being able to finish on the doorstep. So you got to put 7 people out there on offense, and we felt like she was someone that could really be a playmaker. And we just saw that skill set in the fall. And I have a great offensive coordinator in Katrina Dowd, who is one of my best friends. So we just saw that in her, and we trusted in her, and she's done a great job ever since.
What's it like as a coach when you see everything like come into play? You see it in the fall, and then you see it in her junior year, and now her senior year. That must be just some great pride there to see that what you envision is happening on the field, so to speak.
For sure. Yeah, it brings you much joy, and that's like why we do our job, right? You don't just coach people for little moments. You want to see them progress throughout their whole career. And it's really rewarding to see players take on your coaching and be able to adapt and be able to get better. And some people it takes longer than others. And, some people, maybe don't even touch the field their freshman year or sophomore year. And then they're complete starters for us, and game changers, and people that break records. So, it's nice when a player can play their freshman year, but it's also, it's also very rewarding when they do step on the turf and get those minutes. So it's definitely, I think the word to describe that would be rewarding as a coach. It's nice.
Absolutely. We didn't talk about how you kind of got to West Point and why you chose to coach there. I know you were coaching at Wagner before, you played at Syracuse, so there's New York State ties all over the place. But what made you choose West Point, so to speak? Why did you want to come to West Point?
Yeah, I love this question because I actually had no prior background to even visiting West Point or knowing anything about West Point. I just knew how prestigious and amazing it was. Actually, at Wagner, there was a chance that we were possibly going to play Army at one point. So, and I knew that was going to be a heck of a game because of the athletes that they had on their roster. So, West Point reached out to me. It was the summer of 2021 at this point, or 20. And we, my wife and I, we were in love with Wagner. We loved it. My sister had went there, and we just loved the people we were around. But there was a point of me that knew there was something greater out there, and a chance to make a team, get to the next level. And when Army reached out, it just felt like a no brainer. Obviously, I had to come here and interview and show them who I was and make sure it was a great fit for me as well. And once I was on post and met everyone, it was a no-brainer. So, and I met the players on the team, and I just connected right away. And when I was offered the job, it brought tears to my eyes because I just felt like it was a once in a lifetime opportunity. And it has been for the past 2 years. So I'm really grateful that they chose me and that they felt that they could trust me in the program. And obviously Anthony Noto and their family, that was a big part of the interview process as well, because he does, I am the Noto family head coach. So he was a great asset in the interviewing process. So I just feel completely grateful to be here.
Yeah, Anthony's connection to Army is he was a former linebacker at West Point, big CEO guy, SoFi, I believe, and stuff. So, yeah, he's a passionate Army sports guy. I mean, during the Army football season, sometimes I'll get messages from him about why is this guy playing? Why is this guy not playing? And I'm like, okay, hold on.
I love it.
Hold on.
His texts to me are the best. I'm like, I need to read this to my team to pump them up. They're the best.
Michelle, tell us about recruiting. Is it more difficult to recruit at Army or than another college, or is it maybe a little bit easier because it's a prestigious school and a lot of kids, who would not get in otherwise, or on borderline in the gray zone, get in? How is that working for you right now?
Yeah, I think I take it as a positive for it all. Even if I get a lot of no's, because usually people can't see themselves in the Army, or that's usually why I get no's. I totally understand it. But I also want them to come here and make sure they see it before they give me a no, because it's so special. And once you're around it, you understand why it's so special. And it's obviously, they say it's rigorous and it's hard, but it's something that is so incredible at the end of it. And I just think it's a great opportunity for young women to come and be a leader and learn from the best of the best. And but also be a great lacrosse player as well. We're a nationally ranked lacrosse team as well. And I know you guys talked to Coach A, and what he's done with his program for the past 18 years. It is incredible. I use him as a resource a lot with recruiting and just learn his ways, because he knows this place better than anyone. So yeah, I just go into it with a positive mindset. And I think the only hard part is that you get a lot of no's, but I totally understand it. And but when we get those yeses, I know I'm getting the right people to come here.
Okay, great. Tell us about the game against Navy. Give us the details. What time does it start and stuff? And
yeah, game's on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. I chose that time because it was the game time last year, and I'm superstitious, and we won that game. We're excited. Cindy Timshaw is an incredible coach. I respect the heck out of her. She's one of my idols. But I'm gonna give it to her on the sideline on Saturday. And yeah, we're just excited. We're fired up, as anyone would be in this game. We're poised, we're ready to go, and we have a great game plan put together. And we're looking forward to a lot of fans coming out. We've done a great job with our marketing team and to get the word out, to get people here. And I'm just lucky to be able to coach our team through these games. It's memories that I will remember for my lifetime. I'll tell my grandchildren about, and it's fun. It's exciting, and I'm fired up.
Okay, the game's at Mikey, right? 2:30 on Saturday.
Yep.
Is it on TV? Is it on TV?
Sadly, well, it's on ESPN Plus. Last
Plus,
year we
okay.
were lucky enough to have the stream of CBS Sports, but this year it's on ESPN Plus.
Okay, great. All right, and then you got one more regular season game after that, I think Lafayette.
Yep.
And then you go into the tournament and hopefully win the tournament and get the automatic qualifier into the NCAA. Was it 24 teams make the NCAA, or even
That's
more?
I believe it's 36 this year.
26, yeah.
We extended.
How many women's teams are there across the country?
There's about 100, and I might get this wrong, like 19 or so.
Wow, there's only 75 or 80 men's teams. Yeah.
Yeah, we're a lot more than the men. Yeah, I know.
Right. Yeah.
The men's, it's really hard to get in the tournament for the men.
We know, we discuss that all the time. Joe and I discuss it, and he's been on here, and we've love to see the Patriot League get more than one bid. I think this year they have a shot.
They
because
do.
The Ivy League is not good this year.
Right.
In the men,
right.
They only have one team probably getting in, maybe two.
Right.
So I think the Patriot League may get two teams in.
They've made it amazing.
But there's three teams that could get in. Actually, four, even Navy. So they got a big game too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Well, good.
Yeah, Michelle. I have one more question for Michelle before we say goodbye. just the rivalry, right? We know about what the rivalry is like on the football side, and we've seen it a little bit on the men's lacrosse side. What is the rivalry like? This is your second season. I know you guys had to win last year over Navy. Can you describe the rivalry maybe briefly to us with Army and Navy women's lacrosse?
Of course, yeah. Obviously, we're a little bit younger of a program than Navy. Navy, I believe, started in 2007, 8, 6. I forget because I was recruited by them, and I was like, I cannot go there. But so we're only an 8-year program. They didn't play due to COVID in 2020, I think. So it's only been about 5 years of this star game. And Navy had won all of them until last year. So this is I believe, our 6th year playing them in the star game. And we're looking to take it every single year from them. But yeah, it's two great teams playing against each other, two great staffs as well, people that just love lacrosse. And yeah, it means a lot to us. And obviously Army Navy in any sport means a lot, but since this is so new and so young for our program, we want to continue to dominate this rivalry.
Okay.
Michelle, we really appreciate you having you on. And again, 2:30 Saturday at Mikey Stadium. It's Army versus Navy, big Patriot League matchup there. You could follow. We'll have something on the game this weekend, and we really appreciate having you on, Michelle. Check out our YouTube channel. We have our interviews with Joe Aberisi on there. We have football interviews on there. Check out BlackKnightNation.com. We have stories up by the one and only Seth Mendelson and myself. We really appreciate you guys watching us, and thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us this morning.
Well, thank you both for everything you do for Army Nation and all that stuff. But I also want to say good luck to Coach A and the men's team this weekend. They're going to crush it, and we're excited to watch them after we beat Navy.
Okay, well, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
See ya.